Hello, everybody. Welcome. One moment. Welcome to the live stream. My name is Vince Taglivia. We're just going to discuss some of the breaking news for today from Trump, Biden, Kamala, the protests in DC, some world news, some finance, etc. So thank you for joining me today live. If anything's breaking, I'll also cover that. If you want to tag me on anything on X, then please do so. You can follow me at ReadyF4Any and tag me at ReadyF4Any. If anything does break while we're live today, and I hope y'all are having a wonderful day, please make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment your thoughts on what is going on here today. Man, we got a lot. It's interesting stuff. We're just going to go through it here one thing at a time. So thank you all for joining. Let's do this. Biden just finished his speech, his first speech since he stepped down from running for the United States president. And we'll watch a couple clips from that. Joe Biden. People are currently reacting to this. Oh, what's going on here? Am I testing? People are currently reacting to this online. I apologize here. Let me get this pulled up. Of course, we have a lot of things, a lot of people reacting to this as it's unfolding. We had Trump, we had Biden. I think we have Kamala. Kamala might be live right now even. Does anybody have their thumb on Kamala tonight? I'd appreciate any feedback, anything that's breaking that you guys are keeping track of, whether you're watching the legacy media or whatever, other live streams. Let me know what's happening so we could switch gears and cover the latest as we review what's already happened today. Today's July 24th, 2024, by the way. A busy hump day. Happy hump day. So, and by the way, make sure you follow me over on Rumble and elsewhere where I will post some other content that you may not find other places, as well as follow me on X where I'll do some exclusives as well. And thank you for following on DLive and Pilled and everywhere else, everybody. Thank you very much. All right, with that, let's get right into things here. Joe Biden. Let's listen to this little part of his speech from today. This just ended about 20 minutes ago, streamed live from the White House. And in his first address since, he's kind of been missing in action. And there's been a lot of people saying, where is he? Is he okay? They were telling the people that he had been diagnosed with COVID a week ago and that he's been slowly recovering from that and that he's okay now. So now we get this. Let's check it out. This little excerpt from Joe Biden's address today.
And the truth, the sacred cause of this country is larger than any one of us. And those of us who cherish that cause, cherish it so much, a cause of American democracy itself, must unite to protect it. In recent weeks, it's become clear to me that I need to unite my party in this critical endeavor. I believe my record as president, my leadership in the world, my vision for America's future all merited a second term. But nothing can come in the way of saving our democracy. That includes personal ambition. So I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation. That's the best way to unite our nation. You know, there is a time and a place for long years of experience in public life. But there's also a time and a place for new voices.
So that's what I gathered from his speech today, Joe Biden, is that this is the closest thing that I've discovered for a reason as to the reason for why he's no longer running for president. And if anyone has any other information on why Joe Biden stepped down and is no longer running, I'd appreciate that. Of course, there's a lot of various rumors and chatter online, and I see that. But as far as the official statement from Joe, it seems that here he's indicating that the best path forward for the country is for him to pass on the torch. And that is why he's not running for re-election. Let me know. Why do you guys think that's valid? I mean, is there another reason why Joe Biden's stepping down? What's your opinion on this, or your best guess? Thank you. Let's see here. Thank you for tuning in. Keep on keeping on. I hit that pill. Don't be discouraged. I am not discouraged. I am ready. I'm happy. Everything's good. But I appreciate that support with the like and for tuning in. And thank you, A from Pennsylvania. Thank you for joining over there on Pilled. I appreciate that. And I'll keep my eye on the chat in D Live and elsewhere if you guys hop in. Chuck, good to see you. Thank you for tuning in live over there on YouTube. You guys, if you want to support the live streams that I do, you could support me on X. On the upper right of my profile, there's a way to do that. Or also you could become a VIP member on YouTube to support me. I think it's $2.99 a month, I think it is. And that helps me tremendously with keeping these things going, keep my equipment up to date, upgrading the studio, etc., etc. So thank you all so much for those who do support me and who even tune in and share and like and comment. It means the world to me. So thank you all very much. All right. Let's continue on here and look at what else we got. Another clip here that the Insider Paper shared on X of Joe Biden's recent address from the White House. The first one since nobody's seen him in a week. Actually, we saw him yesterday. He did not speak, though. He just kind of got onto the plane and went to the White House. But here's another clip here. Let's listen to President Joe Biden.
When you elected me to this office, I promised to always level with you, to tell you the truth. And the truth, the sacred cause of this country, is larger than any one of us. And those of us who cherish that cause cherish it so much. A cause of American democracy itself must unite to protect it. You know, in recent weeks, it's become clear to me that I need to unite my party in this critical endeavor. I believe my record as president, my leadership in the world, my vision for America's future, all merited a second term. But nothing can come in the way of saving our democracy. That includes personal ambition. So I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation.
Testing, 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 testing. Testing, testing, testing. I'm sorry for that, you guys. A little technical glitch there. I seem to be back. Sorry about that repeat in the videos, but that was essentially his message to the world, a unifying one, saying that the best thing for the nation is to pass the torch to Kamala Harris. That's from Joe Biden just moments ago from the White House, streamed. People are wondering, is this streamed? Did he record it later today or did he record it another day? That's just people asking. It's hard to know. I mean, anything's possible, I suppose, but I think the impression is that that is Joe Biden now, given the circumstances. But of course, people are asking the question of when that was recorded. It's not a live presser. There's no Q&A. So of course, people are out there saying, what's going on here? But regardless, everyone's entitled to their opinions. Who knows? It's a lot of strange information out there right now. But let's keep on going here. KJP came out. And so, it seems Joe Biden's dropping out because he wants the best for America. At least that's what he's saying here in his speech and indicating. And of course, people are asking KJP about it. KJP was asked, and here was her response to her understanding the situation.
I read the president's statement where he said that it's in the country's best interest for him to step aside. Why is it in the country's best interest for him to step aside? Does it have to do with his health or
it does not have to do? They have nothing to do with his health.
We read the president's statement.
So KJP insisting it has nothing to do with Joe Biden's health. For some reason, Joe Biden not running is best for the country, and that is the reason why he's stepping down. Of course, he stepped down last Sunday, and then afterward backed Kamala Harris. And since then, she has pre-achieved nomination from delegates, which is weird. I don't know. It's kind of odd. They're kind of just saying she has all the support and that they're anticipating that she'll be it. However, Obama did not endorse her, and we have more on that in a moment. Let's switch gears here real quick. Talk about Trump. Trump held a rally. It was quote unquote absolutely electrifying. It was an indoor rally. And here's a video, a little snip from that. Chuck Calesto wrote, media shows just how large, intense, and powerful the crowd is at a Trump rally. Absolutely electrifying. Here's a small clip from that earlier today.
They never want to do it. They just don't want to do it.
Pretty remarkable crowd. We're going to keep on looking at more of these little clips and kind of just a recap of what happened today in case y'all worked all day. You're just kind of getting home or tuning in later in the evening or even another day, kind of reviewing these historical moments. I want to ask that you please like, comment, subscribe, and all of that. I do appreciate it. Send this to a friend or two in a text message or in a DM. And if you think that they'll like this content, I do my best to just give you a lot of facts. And I appreciate opinions from all sides, the middle, etc. So, everyone's welcome to watch this and provide their feedback. I appreciate all of you for viewing and for your support. Let's go on here. Trump mentioned Hannibal Lecter again. This seems to be one of the highlights of a lot of his speeches lately, and I think he's going to experience a lot of backlash for it. If I go, maybe we'll go and check out some the articles coming out. I'm sure they're already coming out, but he's already received some criticisms for this metaphor that he gives about Hannibal Lecter. And tonight he even said, quote, Hannibal Lecter is a lovely man. Of course, I think that he doesn't mean that he supports violence or anything like that. The way I take it is kind of trolling. I think it's a metaphor. I think that he's intentionally trying to create negative press because Trump says any press is good press, right? So here's a clip from Fox News on Trump and his Hannibal Lecter portion of his speech.
Under borders, Harris, illegal aliens are pouring in by the millions and millions and millions. It's going to be 20 million, maybe more than that by the end. You ever hear of gotaways? They don't include gotaways. You know what a gotaway is? The people that get in, which is probably most of them. It's probably already over 20 million. You know, we're losing 300,000 people a year to fentanyl that comes through our border. We had it down to the lowest number, and now it's worse than it's ever been. We had the best border, the most secure border we've ever had, and now in just a short period of time, we have the worst numbers in history. They're coming not just from South America, but from Africa, from Asia, from the Middle East. They're coming from everywhere. They're coming from all over the world, from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums. You know, they go crazy when I say the late, great Hannibal Lecter. Okay, they say, why would he mention Hannibal Lecter? He must be cognitively in trouble. No, these are real stories. Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lamb. He's a lovely man. He wants to have you for dinner. He'd like to have you for dinner. These people are coming into our country, and terrorists are coming in at the highest levels that we've ever seen. You know, in 2019, Border Patrol put out a chart, and I don't believe this chart, but I like it. I use it all the time. It said during 2019, we had 0 terrorists. It's impossible, I think, but they said it. I'll take it. Where is Brandon? Brandon, is that right? 2019, the great Brandon Judd. 2019 from Border Patrol. 2019, they had 0 terrorists coming in. Now, I think it has to be. I'm sure some got in a little bit, but not very many. But they had it down at 0, so I use that all the time. But now we have hundreds and hundreds and thousands of terrorists coming into our country.
Oh, sorry. So that's Trump's latest part of his speech where he compares potentially that the illegal aliens crossing the border are crazy and criminals and terrorists and all this stuff. And of course, there have been mainstream and legacy media reports that yes, as well as agencies reporting that yes, there have been terrorists identified, and that it is a real concern, I think, for a lot of Americans. Let me know if it is or isn't, or if you're aware of this stuff going on here. We also had the Trump campaign yesterday filing a complaint with the FEC. What Trump campaign has done is accused Biden and Kamala Harris of violating campaign finance laws by rolling over the funds. So the funds raised for President Biden to be elected are being rolled over, and the Trump campaign is making arguments with the FEC and accusing them of fraud, essentially. So we're going to see how that unfolds, if it holds up or not, but that is one big development in this upcoming election. Some people seem very concerned with it, and others think it's a big nothing burger. Just like this is what we see on everything unfolding here. A lot of people with different ideas, which is fine. It's good. Donald Trump. This is from late last night. We saw this address to Donald Trump. Thank you to Santino for posting this. New from Donald Trump. Quote, looking forward to seeing Bibi Netanyahu on Friday, and even more forward to achieving peace in the Middle East. Donald J. Trump. And he posted this, writing, Your Excellency, it is with grave concern that I received news that later on watched footage of your attempted assassination. Acts of violence must not have a place in a world of law and order. Respect for the other with tolerance and valuing of human life is what must prevail. Despicable acts of attempted or successful assassinations are acts of weakness with failed understanding of peaceful measures to resolve conflicts. Differences must be resolved through communication with freedom of expression. Our thoughts are also with the families of those who lost their life and were injured. Wishing you strength and safety. Ramallah, July 14th, 2024. Respectfully, Mohammed Abbas, President of the State of Palestine. Trump writes, Mahmoud, sorry if I'm pronouncing this. Mahmoud, so nice. Thank you. Everything will be good. Best wishes, Donald J. Trump. So that was interesting. And we see this kind of developing to where I think the Harris is saying that, yes, we need peace. And so hopefully if everybody just could get on the same page of peace, that would be good for everybody, I think. Maybe some people disagree and they want these wars, but I think from everyone I talk to, the general consensus is peace is good, right? I think that's a pretty non-controversial thing to say. Trump brings up a conspiracy theory that Kamala could be replaced. And a lot of people are speculating on what may happen with the election. Naturally, this is what Trump said today during his speech.
Now, if we start beating her in the polls by 10 or 15 points, are they going to bring in a third candidate? It's like, Trump is killing this guy. All right, out. Let's bring in a new one. Out. And then maybe at some point they get one right. But
it's interesting. So right now, the polls that are being put out there are that Kamala Harris has a lead on Trump. And I think some are saying that is just like a temporary surge. Some are saying that polls are fake news. Some are saying that Kamala is actually very strong and has all this support and it's real. And Trump has no chance at beating her in an election. I've heard from the Trump side that this is just it's going to basically peter out. And I think that's why he's saying things like this. And we'll see. Maybe she is the nominee, or maybe there's someone else. It is interesting, though, that Obama has not endorsed Kamala Harris. And some rumors came out today that are unconfirmed. Allegedly, this came from sources close to the Biden family or close to the White House individuals. And this is the rumor that the New York Post alleged today that, quote, Obama doesn't believe Kamala Harris can beat Trump, which is why he hasn't endorsed her. And that is what is insinuated from the New York Post's article today, that Obama doesn't believe Kamala Harris can beat Trump. Those are just allegations based on unknown sources. So take it with a grain of salt. We don't know why Obama hasn't endorsed Kamala. So it's up in the air. We're just going to have to wait. Time will tell us what the truth is in all of this. I hope, right? We could only hope that time will tell. All righty. We have protests in DC. Yesterday, I went on X and I sort of anticipated this. Let me pull this post up real quick. I don't have it handy, but let me see. This is interesting. We saw yesterday some police officers being sworn in advance to provide some security in DC. The NYPD Deputy Commissioner Operations Kaz Daughtry tweeted this, quote, more than 200 of NYPD's finest are in DC and have been sworn in as the United States Capitol Police Special Forces to assist in policing events this week at our nation's capital. These officers are some of the most highly trained and from some of the most specialized units in the department, and will use their knowledge and expertise to assist in our law enforcement partners. And expertise to assist our law enforcement partners in DC. No matter the task, no matter the assignment, no matter how far from home, your NYPD will answer the call and ensure the public is safe and that democracy is protected. Hashtag We Outside to DC edition, which is a really long hashtag. But this is not uncommon, okay, folks? I think a lot of people blow this out of proportion. When you have large events, I think it's quite common to see additional resources sworn in order to help. This happened in January 6th. This happens during large events, okay? So this is not like out of the ordinary or anything like that, but with the current political landscape, with the current global situation, I said that I think that this is going to be a little bit intense. I thought there was going to be some activities. I thought that the potential for things to get spicy was there, and I think that's obvious. This is why we increase forces when we have large events. It's to keep the peace. If there is any crime, to get it handled immediately, right? And so nothing bad happens, whether it's citizens hurting each other or any types of criminality. That's why, obviously. So today, we saw some protests occurring in DC. A lot of people are highly concerned about this stuff, and I think there's reason to be, because we see a lot of vandalism and more. And we're going to talk about that a little bit now. Tony Saruga has made some claims on X. I'll leave it up to you to decide whether or not this is valid or if it's baloney. This is Tony Saruga. He claims, quote, "We have now identified 201 devices and growing that were at the Kamala Harris Milwaukee, Wisconsin rally yesterday that have now arrived in Washington, D.C. and are clashing with police. We have also identified the man with the metal baton threatening police. He was regular in Seattle Antifa. For a handful of these people, a parent is a member of Congress, but most, if not all, come from wealthy elites, Hollywood, Silicon Valley, Wall Street, political families." So an interesting take from Tony on his personal investigation into the matter. So, Larry, can you, let's see. They had to bring in support from places like NYPD because to engage the National Guard would require the Speaker of the House to request them. Okay, I guess, Larry, then to request National Guard if needed, I guess would maybe be considered like an escalation from the security they've already provided. And maybe it's a longer process, or maybe what are you implying with that, Larry? I appreciate that feedback there. And good evening to you, Jonathan. I hope you're doing well, man. Good to see you this fine Wednesday. Yeah, if you want to clarify your thoughts on that, I'd appreciate it. And I'll keep my eye on the chats here. You guys, please make sure you subscribe if you're new, like, comment, tag me on X. If anything pops up here, you can follow me at ReadyF4Any. That's the best way to contact me, especially during these live streams, at ReadyF4Any. If you want to just share your thoughts and opinions later on, if you're watching after this is live, you can just leave a comment down below and I'll keep my eye on it and I'll get back to you. Okay. So thank you for your support and for liking this video. We're going to continue onward here and talk a little bit about these protests in DC today, which may just carry on into the night. We will see. Of course, this all happens as Netanyahu is in the United States. These are pro-Palestine protesters, but there's also a mixture of various other groups of citizens. So it's a diverse crowd. Let's see what this is. Moving onward here. Thank you, Larry. Explanation as to why NYPD was involved, but not the Guard. Okay. Thank you, Larry. So this is in the news, or at least on X. Stu, a citizen journalist named Stu at the Stu Studio, has made this post here. Quote, "We all know activists get arrested and then released the next day. It's another thing to see it rubbed in your face. The protesters who stormed the Capitol with Jewish Voice for Peace yesterday are already back on the streets today. DC Police Department and Mayor Bowser could have actually held all of these arrest activists for 72 hours, which would have been well within the letter of the law. However, they didn't. They are back on the streets causing chaos today." An interesting coverage here by Stu at the Stu Studio. You could follow him on X if you want his citizen journalist take on things here. And this is the video that he posted.
Shut it down!
as people that were previously arrested, protesters that have been arrested, are released and reunited with apparently friends and colleagues, as you see here. Sort of an interesting thing we saw being reported on X. Also, it was reported and video was put out of this. These buses pulling into DC. The Post Millennial reported on this. Pro-Palestinian protesters getting bussed into Washington, D.C. You could see that's based on this video where you could see these buses pulling up and people with protest signs and stepping out of these buses. People are asking, where are these buses coming from? And who's paying for it? What's going on? It's very, I don't know. It's just something that's happening. And of course, people are going to ask questions. Buses coming in earlier today to DC with protesters. And of course, we just heard Tony Saruga saying that these protesters are the same ones over and over again. It's very, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. It's wild. There's a few people on the floor. I mean, on the ground in DC. I was listening to Nick Sorter earlier today in a space, and he is on the floor in DC. So follow Nick Sorter. He is going to be posting some of his pictures and reporting live and whatnot. So he'll be probably doing spaces and whatnot too. And so here's one too, Colin Amott. He's a contributor to the Daily Signal. He says, I was chased off shortly after taking this picture. In this post, the one has long been synonymous with ISIS affiliation in reference to the one caliphate. Unsure if that's what she meant. So he's just there taking images and being chased away because I guess they just don't want their picture taken. Roz Alerts reported on this today too. Absolute chaos is unfolding as pro-Palestine protesters have taken down the 3 American flags and burned them at Union Station and replaced them with Palestinian flags. They write, thousands cheered. They also write this quote, the 3 American flags are being burned along with a mannequin of Netanyahu in effigy. Stun grenades have been deployed. Numerous police officers have been trying to stop the violent, chaotic scenes, but have been pushed back by protesters and activists. The atmosphere is extremely tense, with protesters chanting slogans and waving banners. Smoke from the burning flags is filling the air, and there are reports of minor injuries among both protesters and police. Authorities are urging people to avoid the area as they attempt to regain control. Additional law enforcement reinforcements are being called in, and nearby streets have been closed off. The situation remains highly violent and is still developing. And here's the video of the flag being taken down in Washington, D.C. In the protests earlier today. This was posted at 12:49 p.m., July 24th, 2024, which is about 3:49 p.m. Eastern time. And I actually, this morning I went and talked to a pro-Palestine protester who I saw on the street. There's just one protester in here that I saw today, and I'm on the West Coast, just in the middle of nowhere. And I saw one protester, so I was like, oh, I want to go see what this fine lady thinks. I want to get her thoughts on the situation. And I asked her about this. I said, turns out she was a veteran. She was a veteran, and she had a pro-Palestine flag, and she's just on the corner. And so I approached her. I said, hey, you mind if I ask you some questions? And I did record this, by the way. I just haven't edited the footage or anything like that. I've been busy today, but perhaps I'll put that out here. But I asked her, what do you think about the protesters in DC today? And she said, I just care about I just care about people, and I think that violence is bad, and I think that war is bad. And I said, okay, well, did you hear about the American flag being taken down, being burned, and then replaced with a Palestinian flag? What are your thoughts on that? That we just saw happening in DC earlier this afternoon. She said that she thinks that she doesn't agree with that. She said that is probably a little bit, she just said she didn't agree with it. I don't want to put words in her mouth, but in a nutshell, paraphrasing, she says, yeah, that's not right. And I said, okay, thank you. I asked her a couple more questions, chatted with her for about 10 minutes, and it was interesting. She said that she liked Kamala. She said that she's happy Joe Biden's not running and that Kamala's perfect for her. She says that she's voting for Kamala and she can't wait. And I said, well, what do you think about potential other people to be nominated, etc.? And she says she thinks it's going to be Kamala. And yeah, so it was just interesting. She was actually very nice and willing to answer questions and polite, and seemed like she had a good heart. But a lot of these protesters from every side, I see just people very angry. Even as I stood there and talked to this protester, I'm not taking sides here. I'm just literally trying to get facts. We got yelled at by some passerbys, right? Some people driving by using some very big words. And, we need to at least be peaceful with each other in all this stuff, because things are really being shaken up all around the world. So at the end of the day, we got to be there for our communities. We can't be so wild and angry, right? I think a lot can be done with just some conversation. Something can be gleaned from anybody, right? No matter you're on this side or that side, I think we could all learn something from each other. That's just my opinion. It's easier said than done. This is, a lot of people have very strong emotional connections to a lot of what's happening in the world. So I get it. All right, I'm just checking the chats here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, we're going to keep on reviewing some of the news today. We're going to look at more outside of the political realm too. And if anything breaks, like I said, follow me on X and tag me. I'll keep my eye on anything there. Let me see here. As anything breaks, we'll cover it. We've got Elon Musk saying that he'll fight Zuck. My gosh, just silly stuff. A lot of people criticize some of the stuff I talk about. They say you shouldn't talk about that. That's a distraction. You're wasting your time. I look at everything. And yeah, I distract myself too. If you like distractions, follow me on X, because I don't just focus on news all the time. Okay. I don't think it's healthy. I think it's good to unplug and actually enjoy the day and go touch grass and laugh and joke and go watch a movie or go to the beach or ride your bike or just like ignore everything for a second. There's only so much we could do. We do our best, but to completely engulf yourself in something, I don't think is healthy. So that's why yesterday I held a live stream on X where it was just, I called it a BSLS, a bull live stream, and I just showed memes and jokes and we laughed, and that was it. It was a distraction, and I admit that. And it's just for fun. Okay. It's not to be, it's just to have fun and unplug and unwind and have a good laugh and listen to some good tunes. I had someone on X that I met give me permission to showcase his music, and so I did that, and it was just cool. So if you like that stuff, you can find that on X and Rumble and stuff, and we'll have a little bit of a laughing and joking video here and there. And so follow me on X and elsewhere. Testing. Sorry about that, folks. Check out my pin post if you want to have a good laugh and watch the distraction video. That's all I wanted to say. All right, here. What do I got? Okay. Onward. Let's keep on looking what's going on over there in DC. There have been reports of streets being shut down because of a potential bomb threat that was being investigated in Manhattan, New York. New York City streets have been shut down after a confirmed pipe bomb was discovered. The NYPD bomb squad was deployed, and here is video of that here. This happened today, the 24th. So just some concerning things happening on the East Coast today with the protests and with this potential bomb threat that was reported earlier today. And you can see just behind these trees, the bomb squad taping things off and doing their investigation and handling the potential threat there. I don't have more on that as of now. That was from open source intel on X, as well. Others have reported that. Wow. And also we have vandalism happening, and people aren't happy. People don't like to see the public property destroyed, and they want law and order. This is what happens when you have large protests. Unfortunately, this monument here is being spray painted, and the words Gaza and more being sprayed onto this property. And yeah, so I'm sure soon much of it will be cleaned up, you know.
I support the free speech of the United States of America.
Do you support Palestine?
I lived in Jordan for 6 months, and I believe America is the last hope that we have. That's what I believe in.
So get the fuck out of here.
I'm here doing my job.
Over here, guys. Zionists.
Yeah, okay.
Zionists.
Sure.
Zionists over here.
Baki Arabi كويس. Baki Arabi.
All right, so there's some report there. Open source intel put that out. I'm not sure on the boots on the ground there who is recording that. If anybody knows who the person recording is, that would be great. So I could know that another person on the ground there. Pardon me. Let me go to Nick Sorter. I know he's on the ground in DC. I'm going to check out his profile real quick, see if he's updated us. Interesting. President Trump just posted this from Trump Force One, quote, "Crooked Joe Biden's Oval Office speech was barely understandable and so bad." And Nick Sorter says Trump posted this picture. Trump on his plane. Of course, dissing Biden there. Let's go to Truth Social and see if we have anything from Donald Trump today as far as comments, etc., on what's going on in the world. I don't know if Trump's had the opportunity to post. He is very busy today. And sorry about that. I'm here. I'm looking for Trump. Here we go. A great honor. Thank you. He made a post thanking the NAPO, National Association of Police Organizations, that have endorsed him. That is on X. That was 40 minutes ago from Donald Trump. An hour ago, Trump said, "Crooked Joe Biden and lion Kamala Harris are a great embarrassment to America. There has never been a time like this." And there's the post there. Crooked Joe Biden's Oval Office speech was barely understandable and so bad, in Trump's opinion, on today's unfolding events. Of course, we had, as I had covered earlier, Joe Biden speaking from the Oval Office, from the White House, and that video being shared with the world live. The question as to whether it was pre-recorded or not is, of course, being debated online, and there's no way to know. But, you know, it is what it is, I guess. Alpha Warrior put his opinion out I don't know if you guys follow Alpha Warrior. His handle is X Alpha Warrior X, and he put a little opinion piece out on how he sees the situation of the flag being lowered in DC and being replaced. And this is his thoughts on the matter. X Alpha Warrior X Alpha Warrior. He has a podcast and everything and hosts spaces, so follow him. He says this: "One nation, one flag, loyalty to the USA. Let me make this crystal clear." This is Alpha Warrior again. Quote, "Anyone who removes the U.S. flag and replaces it with another country's flag is an outright enemy to the United States of America and should be treated as one. It doesn't matter if your cause is Palestine, Israel, Ukraine, Russia, Mexico, or anything else. This nation flies one country's flag. If you're an American and you don't condemn this kind of behavior, it's time to seriously reevaluate where your loyalties lie. Patriotism, one nation, one flag, America first. Why?" He says, "This is why." In his opinion, he says this is how he sees it. Quote, "Replacing a country's flag with another country's flag is a symbolic act that traditionally represents conquest and domination. Here are some key points to understand this concept. Historical context. In historical warfare, conquering armies would often remove the flag of the defeated nation and replace it with their own to signify their victory and control over the territory. This act was a visible demonstration of the change in power and sovereignty, marking the end of one regime and the beginning of another. Symbolic significance. A national flag is a powerful symbol of a country's identity, values, and sovereignty. It represents the unity and independence of the nation. Replacing it with another flag is seen as an assertion of dominance, indicating that the territory now falls under the control and governance of the conquering entity." He continues on and says, quote, "Psychological impact. For the inhabitants of the conquered territory, seeing their national flag replaced can be a profound psychological blow, as it visually represents their loss of autonomy and the imposition of foreign rule. It can also serve as a deterrent to rebellion, reminding the populace of the power and presence of the conqueror." Alpha Warrior goes on writing, quote, "Modern implications. In contemporary times, such acts are less common due to the international laws and norms that respect national sovereignty and territorial integrity. However, symbolic acts involving flags can still occur in various forms of protest, diplomatic incidents, or during occupations, and they often carry significant political and emotional weight. Overall, replacing a country's flag with another country's flag is an act laden with historical, symbolic, and psychological implications that communicate a transfer of power and control akin to the outcomes of war and conquest." And I think that was well articulated by X Warrior, his thoughts there on this. And, people are saying, all kinds of things. Let me know. Do you agree with Alpha Warrior's sentiment there on the type of protest that we witnessed in DC with the U.S. flag being replaced? Of course, we have the First Amendment. I don't know if I don't know if any laws are broken there or what, how that's interpreted according to local laws in DC, but I think it's worth having a conversation about what it means to you. Of course, if you're pro-Palestine and protesting, you'd say it's great. We need to open people's eyes to this. If maybe you're on the other side, you might say, and I think there's people in the middle. Like I said, the lady I talked to who was a pro-Palestine protester said she didn't agree with this, even though she's pro-Palestine and protesting peace in the Middle East or whatever, was her message to me, at least. She said that she didn't agree with this type of protest. So it's interesting to hear different points of view from different people. Onward. World news. Let's look at this. FBI Director Wray. Let me see if I can find a current article on this. FBI Director Wray alleges that Russia, Iran, and China are interfering in U.S. elections. This is coming from FBI Director Wray making some allegations here. Interesting. Leading report just made a post saying exactly that. Let me see if I can find a full article. FBI Director Wray saying Russia, Iran, and China are doing this. So Representative Massey questions FBI Director Wray. This is on the Trump assassination attempt 724. Today in a Judiciary GOP, I asked FBI Director Wray to answer specific questions about his department's investigation into the attempted assassination of President Trump. Interesting. So this is developing, and we'll hear more. We'll see what happens here. Interesting accusations. We'll see what more information comes out, hopefully soon. I'm trying to see if we have a detailed report on this. I'm not finding one. But let's move on for now. And we could swing back around if anything comes up. But we had this breaking news as well. This was reported by Roz Alerts. Fighter jets scrambled after NORAD detects and intercepts 2 Russian and 2 Chinese strategic bombers in Alaska air defense zone. This comes after a few days ago there was other stuff happening over towards Alaska as far as military movements go. But look at this. According to reports earlier today, on January 24th, 2024, NORAD detected, tracked, and intercepted 2 Russian Tu-95 bombers and 2 PRC-H-6 strategic bombers operating in the Alaska Air Defense Identification Zone. NORAD fighter jets from both the United States and Canada were dispatched to conduct the intercept. According to military officials, the Russian and PRC aircraft remained within international airspace and did not enter American or Canadian sovereign airspace. This activity by Russian and PRC aircraft in the Alaskan ADIZ is not considered a direct threat. So, although it's not considered a direct threat, I saw some people talking and saying that this is a little too close and that it's an indication of slow boiling of the water or slow escalation, or as if you guys follow Canadian Prepper, who talks a lot about war and the global stuff going on between the various countries as well in the United States and Canada, more of the global news guy, in my opinion. He talks about mission creep a lot, which is the slow implementation of a larger conflict or war. Just one little step at a time. So I think maybe this could be attributed to something like that. Although it's not a violation of any international laws or anything, I think that when it happens, there are responses from other nations. As we saw, the US and Canada sent out a response. Maybe it's a test of that response. You know, it's hard to say. That's just speculation. But these things certainly are something to note, in my opinion. Onward. Let's see what else we got. This was interesting. There was apparently a large hack recently. I think this was yesterday. This was reported. Roz Alerts reported on this. Breaking. Hackers have stolen and leaked internal documents stolen from Leidos Holdings, one of the largest IT service providers to the Pentagon, Homeland Security, NASA, and of other U.S. government agencies, according to Bloomberg. Wowzers. I don't know, whatever. So a big hack, and this comes after we had this huge global outage that happened from CrowdStrike providing an update to their software, apparently, that caused airports to go down globally. It caused banks to go down. It caused a lot of internet systems or people's computer systems using Windows to not be able to boot up. There was a process put out, and a lot of people spent their days troubleshooting and getting things back up. But it was one of the largest, I think, IT failures in history, a lot of people were saying. So let's see here. That was according to Bloomberg. Yesterday, this was reported, but I think it's a very important one. And let me check our chats here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please repost this, like, comment, share, all that stuff. And shout out to the supporters out there, VIP members on YouTube, and those who donate over on X. I appreciate that very much. We're going to keep this ball rolling, see what else we got going on here in our world today, which has been pretty busy. We had Trump speak. We had Biden speak. I think we have Kamala speaking today. Do we not? Has Kamala spoke today? Let me look up Kamala real quick. If anybody knows what time Kamala is speaking, I'd appreciate that. Kamala, I don't think we got it yet. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, this isn't loading. I'm going to have to move on. Let's see here. Next up, let's look at a couple things happening in the financial world. The S&P 500 was not good today. It was a horrible day in the stock market. All things come to an end, bar chart writes. The S&P 500's the S&P 500 400-day trading day stretch without falling more than 2% has ended. So things have been good, but now we see this huge drop on the very right-hand side of this chart. An absolute tremendous drop. Oh my goodness. Pretty scary stuff, but we'll keep our eye on the stock market. Bar chart notes here that December 15th, 2022 was the last time the SPX fell by more than 2%. A huge volatile move in the stock market, considering this fund here, this index, the S&P 500. It's pretty big. That means that a lot of stuff crashed on average, or at least had a big downfall on average. I don't think, maybe crash isn't the right word. I don't know. All right, onward. Hey, okay, onward here. Panic in the Magic Kingdom. Walt Disney has traded red for 6 consecutive days, its longest losing streak since August 2023. It also traded red in 17 of the last 20 days. Not great, bar chart on X writes. So yeah, just another horrible performance from a big player in the stock market. A lot of people happy, actually, which is just wild. We live in a wild world. Tesla also saw its biggest decline since September 8th, 2020 in today's trading. Here's a little piece of that chart from today. Huge drop. Looks like Tesla in this chart is $215.99. Just earlier this week, it hit as high as $270. To put this into perspective, from $270 all the way down to $215.99 is a pretty big move. It's moves like this that cause the S&P 500 to also move, right? Because it's just an average of a lot of companies. But we had this Boeing news. Boeing plea deal. Boeing takes a plea deal with the feds. This is Como News. Boeing takes plea deal with feds, resolves felony fraud charge over 737 MAX crashes. Associated Press, the Justice Department submitted an agreement with Boeing on Wednesday in which the aerospace giant will plead guilty to a fraud charge for misleading U.S. regulators who approved the 737 MAX jetliner before 2 of the planes had crashed, killing 346 people. They write, quote, "The detailed plea agreement was filed in federal district court in Texas. The American company and the Justice Department reached a deal on the guilty plea and the agreement's broad terms earlier this month." Quote, "The deal calls for the appointment of an independent compliance monitor, 3 years of probation, and a $243.6 million fine. It also requires Boeing to invest at least $455 million in, quote, its compliance, quality, and safety programs, unquote." Boeing issued a statement saying the company, quote, will continue to work transparently with our regulators as we take significant actions across Boeing to further strengthen, unquote, those programs. So there's been a lot of controversy with Boeing lately, and a lot of whistleblowers that have come forward as well. And we all have been following that. I have some videos on that that I put out. Let me go here. If we have breaking news, by the way, you could tag me on X at ReadyF4Any. Here's my handle right here, and I'll check that out. I'm just checking that now. Thank you. Shout out to Pilled.net for live streaming this and retweeting it out. I appreciate that. Good to see you. All right. Let's see here. I have this. So I need to check on something real quick. Bear with me as I try to check on anything breaking now. There's one thing I'm trying to follow up with here. Okay, this is an allegation from Patrick Webb, DM for the comms, leading report breaking. The FBI is allegedly misallocating resources by targeting and tracking citizens based on political bias, such as those who purchase Bibles or guns, while neglecting real terrorist threats, according to Representative Victoria Spartz. So these are some accusations of Representative Victoria Spartz. I'd be curious to see evidence supporting the claim. Patrick Webb reporting on that story on the FBI. This is interesting. Patrick Webb an hour ago said the FBI Director Wray raises question about whether or not it was a bullet or shrapnel that hit Trump's ear. So people are debating what actually happened on July 13th, 11 days ago, when Trump was shot in the ear. There's been a lot of conspiracies about that. People are like, that was completely fake. Trump set it up. Or, there's a lot of different conspiracy theories about that. But we're trying to just look at what do we know? What do we know? And we're not going to go into great detail about that historic day. In another stream, I certainly will. I have some things that I'm getting together, all of the latest on that. And so turn on your notifications, because that stream may just be exclusive to X or somewhere. So follow me over there, and we'll dig a little deeper into these things. And looking forward to it. Jonathan, thank you. It's funny. All right, so I have information for the next live stream, and I think that'll be tonight, you guys. I'll probably go live again tonight, so turn on your notifications on X and Rumble, because I'll stream there. Follow me on YouTube too if you want to support me. Become a VIP member. Until then, I'll probably join a space with somebody and just kind of listen in. You're welcome to join in on these sessions. Let's see. Yeah, and some of the kind of nice breaking news from today. Just a reminder, Dan Scavino put this out. We briefly mentioned it, but Dan Scavino Jr., the National Association of Police Organization, endorses President Trump to be the 47th president of the United States. It says here, quote, founded in 1978, NAPO now represents more than 1,000 police units and associations and 241,000 sworn law enforcement officers who share a common dedication to fair and effective crime control and law enforcement. Law and order. A lot of people like to have a nice law and order based society, low crime communities. Of course, it's not possible to get rid of all crime, but people don't like crime. I noticed I'd ask people what they think about crime, and they say, I don't like crime. I like it when there's no crime around me. So it's not controversial in my mind. Just my opinion. What do we got here? Obama did not endorse Kamala. There are rumors in rumors around that it's because he doesn't think she can win, but those are just allegations and rumors. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Will Kamala, let me know, do you guys think Kamala Harris will even be the nominee? Will she be the one that they're settled on, or maybe they'll transition to Michelle Obama, or maybe they'll put Hillary Clinton in, or who knows? Do you think that Kamala is going to be the one? This is still developing. Every single day we learn more. So I'd like to know your opinions on that. You could leave a comment on YouTube. I'll get back to you and let you know if I agree, if I disagree, etc. I want to give a special shout out to Jonathan Marsh, who's been a VIP member on YouTube. You could become a VIP member for, I think it's $2.99 a month. And that does, if you can afford it, if you guys cannot afford it, don't do it. Look out for yourselves. But if you can, and you want to support the things I do with the live streams, etc., you can support me on YouTube by becoming a VIP member or donating in the chats, super chats, or you could also donate on X, and I appreciate all of your support. It's just tremendous. Y'all are awesome, and I am enjoying having conversations with you all on X. So if you want to join live conversations, follow me on X and tune in when you can. You could even listen anonymously to those, which is kind of cool if you just want to be a fly on the wall. Or if you want to join the conversation, you can too. Follow me on X, tag me in the breaking news. Let's keep these conversations going as this all unfolds. We have a breaking thing right here. There's a big wildfire in Canada, if you guys were unaware. The wildfire has now reached the Jasper town site in Alberta, Canada. Quote, Parks Canada, the municipality of Jasper, as well as the responders from Alberta and other provinces are continuing with efforts to protect the town. Firefighters remain in town, combating multiple structural fires, and are working to protect critical infrastructure. If you want to follow this fire, you could follow at Jasper NP, who is reporting on these wildfires. And it's been actually absolutely tremendous. People fleeing the area, evacuating yesterday. And right now it's being reported that today's going to be like the hottest day in history, and that climate change is the craziest thing ever. All this, right? This is kind of the narrative that we're seeing, just so you know. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get off for now. I may go live here in just maybe a little bit later tonight. If not, definitely tomorrow. So keep your notifications on. It may not be live on YouTube. So follow me in other places as well, as I'll have various content across various platforms: YouTube, Rumble, DLive, X, and Pilled. So thank you all for tuning in. With that, hey, Born Awake Oracle. Hey, shout out to you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm just about to get off here, but I'll be around. You guys can contact me on X. I may file into a space here in a moment as I do dinner and a little bit of things around the house, just normal stuff. So, but as soon as I can, I'll be back in the studio. I'll do another live tonight, tomorrow morning or afternoon or evening. Just stay tuned. If you're available, hop on in. If not, you can catch the next one. But thank you all for tuning in. With that, take care. God bless and God speed. Thank you, everybody.